everybody, Noah Films here, back with another video. This is my, I think, 13th or 14th stop motion review. Today I'm reviewing Spider-Dude Productions' Spider-Man Episode 4. And, well, first off, this is a really messy desk. I need to clean it up. And this is a set I'm building for Incredible Hulk. So, yeah, just to get the elephant in the room, I guess, out of the way for my desk, but nobody cares about that. Let's move on to the actual review. Just a quick recap for a series. His episode 1 was really good. It's probably one of my favorite stop motions. I'm pretty sure it is in my favorite stop motions playlist. There's just a certain charm to it, and that's why I really like it, even though like with the animation and all that, there's more issues in it than some of the other episodes in the series. And then episode 2, it improved. I didn't enjoy it as much, but it did improve with the animation and all that. And then episode 3, kind of the same thing. And then episode 4, here we are. It's been a long wait. Episode 3 came out in like July, so it's been like 4 months since the last episode. But it's finally here. There was plenty of delays, but yeah, and I was pretty excited for this. Spider-Dude is one of the better animators out there. He only has like 300 subscribers. He deserves a lot more subscribers. I mean, he is a really good animator. So, yeah. So how I'm going to do this review is, first off, shout out to All That Jazz, because he came up with the idea for, or is doing these categories in his reviews. So I'm going to go category by category for my review. And, yeah, this is not my idea. This is All That Jazz's thing that he does, so I'm just gonna experiment with it. If you guys like it, then I'll keep on doing it. If you don't, and you want me to go back to pros and cons, then I'll definitely do that. I just want to experiment and kind of switch it up for my reviews a bit, because it's kind of just been the same thing for the whole time, and I want to make it different. So all the categories are voice acting, plot, animation, characters, dialogue, choreography, sets, cinematography, editing, and audio and visual quality. So yeah, the lowest category is audio and visual quality at a 7.2 out of 10. So the audio quality was okay. On some of the voices, though, it was not the best. Like for Chameleon and I think it was Shocker, their audio quality was not very good. But the rest of the voice actors' audio quality was pretty good. And for the music, the audio quality was decent. But the big issue with the music is sometimes it was too loud and some of the voices were too low. So that's why audio quality really isn't that great. And then the visual quality was decent. Spider-Dude had some pretty bad camera quality before he got his new one. And in some of his earlier, like in his Spider-Man Joins the Olympics stop motion, the camera quality was pretty good, especially for a phone. So yeah, in this one, I think it was a little bit of a downgrade with the visual quality. There were some shots that looked pretty good in terms of quality, like when Spider-Man was in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters or whatever, and some other shots looked pretty crisp and clear. Like, not the most clear, obviously, but it was pretty good. But then there were some shots where it was really blurry, and yeah, so it's not... The visual quality wasn't the best, but it's definitely an improvement over some of the other episodes, especially like episode 1 and 2, because especially episode 1. Episode 1 at times had some really bad camera quality. So yeah, it is an improvement, but it could still be a little bit better. But it's kind of hard because not everybody can afford a good camera, so I understand why visual quality isn't the best, but audio quality could be improved. That's something that you can definitely improve on. Man, that's something that's easier, I guess, to improve on. So yeah, it's a 7.2, not bad, pretty decent. So the next category is voice acting, which I am going to give an 8 out of 10. The voice acting, it was pretty decent. I feel like, so for Star Wars Collector, he usually is pretty good, and throughout the series has been good, but I feel like progressively he's gotten a little bit worse. And in this episode, it was probably his worst performance, I feel. I'm not trying to hate on Star Wars Collector, I just feel like he didn't bring as much emotion as he usually does. So, that was my big issue with the voice acting, and then everyone else was okay. I feel like the impressions were pretty good. For Beetle, I'm used to saying Hobo for Beetle, but yeah, by the way, we need Hobo to get back because he's been gone for too long now. So, yeah, but Ghost Rider as Beetle was really, really good. I feel like he was better than when Jazz replaced Hobo as Beetle. So, I feel like if Hobo is not going to be there for voice acting moving forward, then it definitely should be Ghost Rider because he had a pretty good performance, I feel. The Nick Fury voice actor was okay. There really isn't much else that's super notable. Gamer's Tombstone was a lot better than when he first voiced him in, I think, episode 2. You could hear him a lot better. He wasn't so quiet, and it was a pretty good voice. So, overall, voice acting was good, but it was just that one issue with Star Wars Collector and then everything else, which just kind of, okay, not really too many issues, just not the greatest, I guess. So, that's why it gets an 8. Hey, Future Noah here. So, I realized I forgot about dialogue somehow. So, dialogue is gonna get an 8 out of 10 for me. It was pretty good. There not too much to say. I really like the table joke that was in there. It was referencing in episode 3 where Tombstone threw Spider-Man on a table and thought he was dead. So, I think that was a really good joke, and overall, I think the dialogue was pretty okay. There's not really too many standout lines I can remember, but overall, it was some decent dialogue, so that's why it gets an 8 out of 10. So plot is going to get an 8.5 out of 10. It's good. All right, 8.5. It's pretty good, but just the one big issue is the pacing. It was almost 11 minutes long, but it felt like only like 5 to 6 minutes. I mean, it felt really, really short. Like when I was in a Discord call watching it with some people, I thought it was only like 7 minutes or something because it felt really, really short, but ended up being 11 minutes. So I feel like there was just too many short scenes, and I talked about this with Spider Dude. That just saying, it's short scenes. The pacing was too fast, and however, there is still good in the plot because it is an 8.5. I really like that he introduced S.H.I.E.L.D. into the plot, and I like this is also kind of a thing that goes in characters, but Beetle was kind of developed more, but that's not really much with plot. So yeah, I really like the introduction of S.H.I.E.L.D., and overall, I think the plot was pretty good. It's just a little too fast, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Moving on to the next category, we have cinematography and 8.7 out of 10. It was some really good cinematography at times. When Spider-Man is in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, those were some really, really good shots. He uses a lot more camera movement here. The lighting is a lot better. Overall, I mean, it was really good at times. But then, the reason why it doesn't get higher is because in the dialogue scenes, I feel like he could have used more of a variety of angles. Like when Spider-Man and Nick Fury are having their little conversation, it's just the same angle each time, and it doesn't really seem that interesting. You could use more of a variety whenever we switch between Spider-Man talking to Nick Fury. It could be a different angle and not just the same one. So that could have helped the cinematography more. But other than that, I mean, the cinematography, it's a pretty big improvement over the last few episodes. Not saying the last few episodes cinematography was bad. It's just this one was a lot more impressive, if you know what I mean. So the next category is editing at an 8.8 out of 10. The editing was really, really good. The drawn effects were pretty good. There isn't really too much to say about the editing. I guess kind of the issues with the voices being too low can kind of go into editing also. So, yeah, I don't think I have much to say about editing. It was just pretty good. I do think we cut to black a lot, but that's not really an issue, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. There's not really too much to say about editing. So, yeah, 8.8 out of 10. It wasn't, like, really spectacular. It was just good. It was solid, did its job, and, yeah, that's about it. Hello, so I realized while editing, I didn't really say that much for the editing category, so I couldn't really think of much at the time for some reason, but I want to touch on a few more things with editing, which is the music by Prime Films is pretty good. I like it. And then also the intro he has, his new intro for the series, is really, really good. I hope he uses it from now on, because I remember he made an intro for episode 2, and he didn't use it for the rest of the series. But I think that the new intro is better than the other one. So yeah, that's all I want to say here in this little portion. Back to the video. So moving on to the next category, I have choreography at a 9 out of 10. There wasn't really too much action in this episode, and I think that was a good decision to not have too much action, because well, you got to develop the characters more, which I'll get into in the next category, which is actually characters. But yeah, so 9 out of 10 for choreography. It was pretty good. Just not too much to say. There was, when Spider-Man was fighting like those criminals or whatever, it was some good action. I don't think it's quite as good choreography as some of the other episodes, but that's probably because there wasn't too much to showcase there for the choreography. So overall, it was good. There were some nice moves there, and decently creative. So overall, it was decent. Overall, it was great, because it's a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is not decent. So yeah. And then characters is going to get a 9 out of 10 also. I really like kind of some of the development he did with Beetle, giving them more depth. The villains have gotten a lot of development in this series, and I feel like that can also be a little bit of an issue, because then Spider-Man gets a little sidelined, and it's his series. So I feel like moving forward, we should definitely have more Spider-Man and Peter Parker development, because Peter Parker has not even been seen in this series. It's just been Spider-Man. So I feel like that's probably one of my biggest issues of the series. I could forgive it for the first 2 episodes, but in episode 3 you should probably have them, and then episode 4, and now we're getting a little bit too much episodes without Peter. But Spider-Dude did say that Peter Parker will actually be in episode 5, and that it will be a lot more Spider-Man focused. So that's great to hear moving forward. But anyway, it's a 9 out of 10 for characters, so I'll stop crapping on it. And yeah, so Tombstone was good. Did introduce Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., like I said before, and I thought that was really good, introducing Nick Fury. And I feel like he was a good character. Didn't do too much, but it's just a good, solid introduction. So yeah, characters were pretty good in this episode. So let's move on to sets at a 9.2 out of 10. Spider-Dude has some really, really good sets. A lot better than mine. There's some... he has so much attention to detail, like, with even some of the littlest stuff, like, the one computer he had in there, which is reused from, like, episode 2, or an earlier episode, he said. So, yeah, there was a computer in there, and just a little attention to detail with having, like, the keys on it and stuff, and, like, the background. That was really cool with that prop. And then also just all the other props with the little details there, and some of the paintings he put in, and all the details into the sets I just really admire. And they're well painted. Yeah, and it really is just mostly cardboard and paint and like tape or whatever. All the stuff, like all basic materials that you can find around your house that he uses to make these great sets. And there's probably some of the best sets I've seen that are built out of cardboard. So there's not really too much issues I have with it. The only real issue, I guess, is sometimes some of his props are just like regular cardboard and not really painted. But at times, like, it kind of did blend in with the set. But overall, he should not have just bare cardboard, I guess. But that I don't really care about that, because overall the sets were amazing. So yeah. So the final category, we have animation. It was fantastic. This is probably the smoothest his animation has been. Before, it was decently smooth and really realistic, but now it's really smooth and really realistic. And he's gone. It's nearly perfect. I mean, it is some fantastic animation. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's really realistic. It's really smooth. There's not much, like, what else do you need for better animation? Like, he is one of the best animators out there, and he needs more subscribers. Like, only 320. I don't get it. I don't get it how someone this talented, and he's a little bit younger too, and he's already this talented. So he's got a bright future ahead of him for animation. He's gonna just continue to improve. I mean, this episode, technically speaking, it is an improvement with the animation, the sets, and all that. It is a lot better than some of the previous episodes, and he did well with that, especially in the animation department. He's gone a lot better in that. Not saying he was bad before, he was still really good before, but now he's taken his animation to the next level, and yeah, that's really, really good. So that is going to conclude my categories and overall review of it. So my final score is an 86%. So really good score, almost a 90. I think I'll just bump it up to a 90% because of the enjoyment. It was really enjoyable. I don't think it's not my favorite episode. I think it's the best in terms of animation, cinematography, and all that, like I said before. But I still feel like episode 1 is my favorite just by a little bit. But this one still is really, really good and is a fantastic addition to the series. Like, there are no bad episodes in this series. They're all really good. They're really solid, and it's been the best Spider-Man series I have seen. And there's been a lot of Spider-Man series out there, and this is definitely one of my favorites. It's probably just my favorite. I'll just straight up say it's probably my favorite Spider-Man series. So, yeah, that is going to conclude my review on this. So, yeah, 86%, like I said before. A few things to work on. I think if the pacing was better, my score would be a lot better because plot would get a lot higher. And then there was a few issues with the audio quality and the visual quality. But overall, those are just like the main issues with it. Everything else is just kind of little nitpicks I have. So, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you like this review style of ranking it by the categories and stuff. So make sure you subscribe to Spider-Do Productions and go watch Spider-Man episode 4 because it was really good. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Make sure you suggest stop motions for me to review. Like I say many times, I don't review beginners' work. I only review some more like experienced animators' work because I feel like it's unfair to the beginners to judge their animations the same as like someone who's been doing it for years. And I don't want to do that, and I don't want to have it be like I give a beginner like a good score than someone else who's been doing it longer, and he has a better animation better than the beginner, if you know what I'm saying. So that's why I don't want to review beginner's work. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out. Bye.